We are just walking corpses. Nigerians cry out over increasing suffering. Of course, the picture you see here, you see it's a typical Lagos. Maybe my 12 or maybe Oshodi area, Obalende area, you see this kind of picture. Mushin area, you see this kind of picture. Okay? Kokomaiku, Maitu, and several parts of Lagos. You see this kind of picture where people are just moving, sometimes aimlessly, sit down in their shop Monday till night, nothing to show for sitting down in a so-called shop. Okay, so suffering is too much, especially, and they just use Lagos to represent the suffering. It is all over Nigeria, across all the 36 states and the FCT, or the 37 states, since the tribunal said the FCT is just like any other state in Nigeria. Okay, so let's see what Nigerians are complaining about here. In July, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared an immediate state of emergency on food insecurity to tackle the increase in food prices. He also directed that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the National Security Council. Probably, Mr. President was responding to the suffering of the masses, which increased with the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, by his government on May 29, 2023. But the reality on ground is worrisome. Virtually the price of everything in the country has more than doubled since the subsidy removal, making things, especially foodstuff, out of reach of the poor. Even the rich are also crying. Okay, food prices are also expected to increase further in the remaining part of the year, according to data from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. On a month-on-month basis, food inflation rate in July 2023 was 3.45%, about 1.64% higher compared to the rate recorded in June 2023, which was 2.40%. From sachet water, cheap noodles, and even gari, people now pay more for less of these items. Musa Mungoro, a Malian who runs a small kiosk at the entrance of the estate he guards, explains it all. Oga, wallahi, I am surprised that Oga Mercedes children come here to buy Indomie. Hungry man. Abi, they said the man's business is not moving again because the dollar has gone up, Mungoro said. Beyond that, the security guard, who is loved by most of the estate residents and who has enough information on most of them because of his job, lamented that in the last 6 months, about 3 residents have moved out from the estate to cheaper areas. Oga, I have asked them to increase my salary. They said that there is no money and that I am even better than some of them because I sell essentials people need now, he noted. Again, the constantly reducing portion of food served at Mama Put and other roadside food vendors testify of the high level of food inflation in the country. At almost 50,000 naira per bag of rice, how much will I sell a plate of rice to make profit? Meat, tomato, oil, even Maggi have all increased in price, and I must pay Agbero money before selling to customers and security money later. There's no profit again. We are just managing because many customers are struggling to make ends meet. Eyabo Oni, a food vendor at Sele bus stop, lamented. For a clearer picture, Mesio Bele, a private school admin staff who alternates as kindergarten teacher, decried that most of the food flasks of her pupils are no longer as rich as they used to be. Last week, a parent dropped off her 2 children without food flask and pretended that the children forgot them at home. But her daughter said her mother told them there was no food that morning and that they should eat from other people's food. Oh boy. I am surprised because she used to bring the children in big cars, but they have been using Okada since school resumed, Obele said. Truly, the average Nigerian family is going through a lot of suffering because of the economic reality of our time, with 2 and no longer 3 square meals difficult to come by. They used to say that it is money that makes a good meal. No matter small, big or good meal, you need more money because everything is expensive now. Atinuke Mujid, a mother of 3, said, if food is now scarce on the table, other essentials including house rent and education are even more difficult to come by, leaving many to suffer untold hardship. Now, while the breaking of every new month seems to bring hope of better days ahead to many people, the reverse seems to be the case for September, especially for most Nigerian parents. Oh boy. This one information from the street. Real information from the street. That is what this one is. This is the pure street of Nigeria. Now, with many bills to settle, particularly school fees, which most schools have increased between 100 and 150% for the new session in response to the current inflationary trend, parents are more than worried on how to send their children back to school this September. The most hit are those whose children are schooling abroad, as the unstable and very high exchange rate drains their life savings. Of course, those in private schools in the country are also facing similar challenges, as all the private universities are reviewing tuition fees every semester to meet their funding demand. But the public schools, which seem to be cheaper, are also increasing fees, while the incessant strike, poor learning facilities, and perceived poor quality of education force parents to struggle in remaining clientele of private schools. I have a bill of about 2.4 million to pay for my son who got admission at Nile University at Abuja. I wanted him to go to school in London, but the over 1,000 naira per pound is my fear because it is still rising and the government has not done anything to stop the rise. I have been given time to settle the bills and I may change my mind too because there are others behind him. Matthew Osailoka, a lawyer, said. The father of 3, who is aggrieved by the economic reality of the country, lamented the number of out-of-school children and especially university dropouts would increase considering the very exorbitant cost of education in the country today. And people are hailing the Jagaban. People are saying he's doing well. Quite unfortunate. So there are a few comments here. Somebody said Tinubu's suffering is just the beginning, unless the whole Nigeria wake up and call a spade a spade. Exactly. Exactly. Since people don't want to call a spade, the suffering will start. See, they are voting APC. They are saying that it's a Miloko, Igbo man is stupid. No wahala. Those who love rigging and thuggery should enjoy the pain and keep smiling and praising their masters. Okay, I'm exempted. Let us enjoy our tribal and religious sentiment. Exactly. Still, we thank God for Peter Obi not being elected. The suffer could have doubled this season. This must be a very foolish person speaking. I don't know why you are blackmailing Peter Obi. You choose darkness over light. Sorry, you are digging your grave and that of your generation due to ignorance. Okay? And somebody has told him to delete the comment. That is it. He doesn't know what he's saying. Yeah? Is he himself that is even commenting to blackmail Peter Obi? Is he enjoying life? He's not enjoying life. He's suffering too. He is suffering too. The government is not sincere. The simplest thing to do is to open the borders. Imported items are far cheaper than made in Nigeria. The useless Buhari closed the borders, thinking it is the reason dollar is in increase against the naira. The dollars was less than 200 when the borders were closed. A dollar is now 1,000. Before the borders were closed, a dollar is now 1,000 or more to the naira. The borders closure only favors some very few greedy merchants. Nothing has been achieved. So now somebody is still trying to bring it to become Igbo, Yoruba, something. Nigeria is suffering. Disintegration now, in which the 6 geopolitical zones are sovereign state, is the only solution. Exactly. Exactly. And exactly. So thank you for listening. And let's have your comment. Common man suffering. Nigerians are just walking on the street as we speak.